G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for episode number 24 of our Gunslinger Purifier playthrough, where we're going to take a little break from Barrowholm, which is where we're heading this episode. And I'm just going to run through Cronley's Hideout a couple of times, maybe 2 times, but I'm looking for a new hat. And this one is quite old, level 55. If you have a look at the armor rating here, it's the only piece I have that is less than 1,000. I just want a little more armor, and also having an extra 30 odd levels means we get higher level affixes. So the impervious would probably give, 30 something instead of 20 something PS resist, things like that. So we're going to do a quick run through that area. Old Arcovia is where I tend to start when I'm looking for these, and unfortunately, this is one of the MIs that got royally screwed, like really bent over and done hard. Because there is exactly 0 bosses in the entire game, including bounty targets, which a lot of people don't think about. There's not a single boss in the game that has this item. And so the only place they drop is with what feels like a 0.5% chance from the Cronley's gang arsonist. So basically, you're running around in these mines, and you're looking for any of Cronley's gang that happens to have a red hat. So this guy here, arsonist. This guy here. And you kill them, and you just kind of hope that they have the helmet that they're showing. And most of the time, they won't. Now, the drop rate in Ultimate is a decent amount better than in Normal. I was recently testing a character in Normal. That's a lot of damage. Recently testing a character in Normal, and I wanted... it was an incendiary cast rather than a... sorry, it was an ascended cast rather than an incendiary one. But it's the same idea. And I had to clear Cronley's Hideout of everybody who had a green glowing hat 12 times before I got one. That is just kind of not feasible. So while I used to recommend these hats as ways, well, and the shoulders as well, that I'll show you in a second here. So I've got the hat here. This always comes with chaos resistance, and the shoulders also always come with chaos resistance. And then the green ones, I think the shoulders has aether resistance and the helmet has chaos or something like that. But I used to recommend those for newer players to fix their resistances around Homestead. And I just can't do that anymore because there is no world in which running Cronley's Hideout 12 times to get a hat is justified. So unfortunately, those items are kind of not really unobtainable, but they may as well be until Ultimate. And once you do get to Ultimate, if you want one, you kind of have to jump through all kinds of hoops, and it's a pain to get one. I'm very surprised that I actually got one to drop already. Generally speaking, you'll have to clear all around this outside area, and they're just quite painful to drop. It's not to say you can't get them. You absolutely can get them on your first run through Cronley's Hideout in Normal. It's just I don't think it's very likely. And if I have to run that place 12 times to get a hat, I'm just not going to get the hat. I'll find another way. Okay, Dawnshard Horberg. I'm pretty sure I've had 3 of these now. Don't have one on me, but less armor. Bit of lightning damage is nice. Speaking of, as long as we're looking at loot, I found these in the one run I did for starting recording. So I've got the Void Steel Gauntlets. I think I'm going to use these at 84. The armor on them alone is kind of good enough, and then it also has poison and chaos res, which, I mean, I don't need chaos resistance. I don't really need poison, but I would like some more. But I definitely don't need the piercing that these ones have. So gloves is kind of, I can swap that, no problems. And I'm also considering using these, because even though they are not heavy boots, like the Golemborn Greaves, that Time Warp is actually quite useful for slowing things down. These have a pile of resistances on them, they have more move speed. They do have some physical resistance, more than the Golemborn Greaves. So this is a viable swap as well. That's kind of not, I guess we'll sell it. So yeah, this is, I guess, kind of a side effect of skipping Elite. I don't know that I can blame Elite for having to farm this stuff. Because usually I would do something similar anyway. I do see that impervious incendiary cask of the boar up there. That's maybe the one that I'll end up using. Let's have a look at it. No one's going to kill me while I'm looking. Good. Okay, it's a level 84 base, which is kind of what I was after. I think this is actually going to end up being a 75 base with an 84 affix. But what do we got? More pierce, more poison, more chaos. We'd lose a little bit of bleeding and a little bit of vitality. I can deal with that. So there's the hat I'm going to use. These shoulders I'm going to use as well. These dropped just before on the run through this area before I started recording. Actually in Cronley's lair.
That skill's not ready.
So I'm going to use those as well. So actually there's no real reason to do another run. I'll just finish this little section. The basic idea is you want to run through here. Generally speaking, I'll take the rift. So I wouldn't have necessarily seen this guy because I don't backtrack here. But you take the rift and then you run up here. And there's going to be, you know, you'll maybe get 10 dudes with red hats and you just kill them all. Moneybags might be here. If he is, be ready because he does a ton of damage. And I don't really care about the normal kind of guys.
That skill's not ready.
I'm here looking for arsonists and nothing else. So when you do see them, just shoot them, and if you don't see them, just run past. I haven't actually found any on this little bottom loop before, so I'm kind of not expecting to see them. Nope, definitely not. Alright, and... oh, fought your friend. And I'm just going to ignore all the rest of that, because they don't have any items that I want. And XP is something that will come with just doing quests, mostly. There's usually one here. There isn't this time, but that's usually the last place you're going to find them. Because now we swap over to the ethereal stuff. And, well... let's see if I can get an ascended cast to drop just in this little section. Doesn't look like it. That'll be fine. Alright, I've got what I came for, so we're gonna leave now. Addressing comments in a previous video. Let me just find the one. I probably should have had this up. Yep, so it's 295 Street again. Mentioned that I should use the Seal of the Void instead of the Seal of Destruction that I have on my guns. And that got me thinking. He's probably right. However, don't actually have the Seal of the Void available. The Seal of the Void does add flat chaos damage from memory, and it's got physical converted to chaos, which initially I thought was a really bad idea, because why would I want to be converting, you know, my physical into chaos damage? I want to convert it into fire. But when you look at my pistols, I don't do any physical damage. It's already fire. And so I'm not actually converting any physical damage to chaos, unless there's some on there may be some on Firestrike, actually. No, it's just main hand damage. Where am I getting that physical from? Is it from Flame Touched? Yeah, so it's going to be from Temper here. So there would be some conversion away from the damage that I want. But with the pistols themselves doing fire damage as their base, there's not a huge amount to actually convert. The weapon itself doesn't actually show that it's all fire damage, but it is. And you can see there's a small amount of physical there. So there would be a little bit of conversion, but not enough to really worry about it. And the good thing about the Seal of the Void is that it comes with a weapon pool skill. So if you have a look in the Inquisitor here, bursting round here, it says activates off default weapon attacks. I can't remember exactly what the phrase is that tells you it's weapon pool skill and not just a proc on your gear. But the Seal of the Void is a weapon pool skill. So we get 23% chance from bursting round, we get 17% chance from chilling rounds, We get another 17 from Storm Spread, which, if my maths is correct, is 57% total. So there is a 57% chance that something will happen whenever I fire the guns. And that means that there is a, again, if I can do maths while recording, a 43% chance that nothing happens. Which means if I get 2 Seal of the Void, and I'm maybe getting this number wrong, but let's say that I remember that they are 13% chance to proc, then that's another 26% chance that something will happen, and it effectively lowers the chance that nothing will happen by half. And I'm sorry to all of the non-maths people out there who have no idea what's happening. Weapon pull skill good is what it boils down to. And even though they are chaos focused, the weapon pull skill on those components is providing a huge chunk of fire damage. So the proc could be quite good. All that is to say, if I had the blueprint, I'd probably give it a shot. It may even be better, but I would lose the fire damage here, I would lose the crit damage here, and I would no longer be able to forget to cast this ability. Although, to be fair, if we have a look here, Fire Strike is 10 to 12, and Stormfire is less. So Fire Strike is the one you want to use. Which actually means that the skill granted by the Seal of Destruction is actually bad to use. You don't want to use it, because you want to be triggering all your damage procs and just doing more damage, generally, by using Fire Strike. Anywho, let's continue on here. Now, last episode I got up to the rift that I just came out of, and I had a little bit of a scare with the big tree golem dudes kind of ganging up on me. Which I guess is going to happen because of complete lack of armor, effectively, here. Also, that's not too bad. This could definitely be higher. Only a 13% chance to dodge is not great. 13% crit chance is also not amazing, but it's okay. I think it's probably fine. Armor, on the other hand, well, we've got the fix for the head. We've got gloves and boots also coming in soon, so this should be better. And it may be time to maybe chuck another scaled hide on the pants. That will be an issue for bleeding resist, so if I can get some bleeding resist somewhere else, it's probably a good idea. Okay, so we are effectively heading north now. This dwelling here, this is Laria's den. We will need to come back for her later. In the meantime, however, I've got the first location for the undergrowth. Now, the undergrowth is one of the areas in the game that I really don't like, and I'm sure you're going to see why any second here. These things. These little wacky arms, and specifically the one that's usually right here. You generally, well, the game doesn't notice, I guess, that they're there, and it will try and walk you straight through them, but they do block your movement ability. It might be the next corner, actually, is the one that I really hate. Exalted Chest, always here. It's a very nice purple item that I'm not going to use. Yep, here it is. This is the one that I hate. I always, most of the time. 20% of the time it happens every time. I'll come around this corner here. Maybe I'll be using a movement skill or something like that, and I will get caught on that little wacky, flaily arm tentacle thing. And it just drives me nuts every time I come through here. Looks like I've got the nice spawn there that actually let me through. But a lot of the time you'll just get stuck on that plant and you'll have to manually tell your character, okay, now move around it, and okay, now you can go down there. It's incredibly frustrating. Okay, this should be doable, relatively face tankable. Having said that, taking a decent chunk of damage, I might swap and just kill off the golems. That is really not something I want to see. Okay, I think on her own she's probably doable, but that Sunder with 4 golems is bad news bears. Alright, Vine Ring. Rune of Callisto is really nice for a different build. Not so great for this one. We are done here, and I'm going to do my usual trick and just rift out, because I left a decent amount of stuff alive on the way back, and there's always those little wacky tentacle flailing arm tree thingies that really just annoy me. So I'm going to avoid them and keep my blood pressure under control. Okay, so Laria will come back for later. Because we don't have the quest for her, so we can't pick the dialogue options that will let us kind of deal with her. Let's take these out. I've noticed the totem up there on the top of the screen, that's why I'm shooting this stuff. Otherwise I wouldn't bother. Okay, there we go. Okay, is everybody dead now? Not quite. Alright, let's set these up, and we'll trigger the totem. Now, Corrupted is going to put goop on the floor. I may have killed him too quick, actually, for that. Surprising. Okay, they're all dead. So, right, next is a one-hander from memory. And a lot of this stuff I don't really care so much about, but we'll pick them up anyway because bits, basically. Alright, and we'll eat these. So that was Star Fury Emerald, and this is the Hood of Dreeg. And that was the next weapon right there. Next, I think Ortis is fire-based? Don't quote me on that. But 2 different weapons for the 2 weapon set. I've never actually used that in a build. I've heard it's good on like a Saboteur. Obviously I've never tried it though. Alright, and we are back to pretty much just heading north. I'm gonna head over the left here and get the Witches, which I did actually walk straight past on the Paladin, so I'll have to come back for them on that character. But we got them this time. And since I've already done the, what is it called? The undergrowth. I don't need to go looking for it. I'm also thinking I'm just going to go ahead and kill Ugdal over here, because I like, or not like, I need to have another couple of characters who can kill him. Because pretty much all of my other characters have played nice with him for the Coven rep. And I want one of the MIs that he drops, at least allegedly. The other thing is I still haven't actually tested if this works, so that's going to be interesting. He may be one of those, what do you call him, like a quest monster, who you fight him one time, you kill him, and then he's just gone. What do we got here? Are you trapped here? I think you're a threat. I will banish you. Alright, so now we just kill him. And he should drop one of the Wraith MIs, there it is. Which is the reason I wanted to have him there and be farmable. Like I said though, I'm actually not sure if he is farmable, so... I guess I'll find out next time I come through here, whether or not you can farm him or if he's a one and done deal. If he is a one and done deal, that's really bad for another MI, because he's the only boss that isn't 100% completely random, who can actually drop the, like the Bound Wraith, which is the one I'm after. All of the other bosses that can drop it, and I think there's 5 or 6 of them, but they're all random spawns, so your best bet is probably going to be undead totems. Alright, we don't get the trap this time, unfortunately. So this stump, sometimes there's a chest here, and if you open the chest, you'll get a group of undead heroes will spawn and attack you. Right, I think we're pretty much up to Barrowholm now. And by I think, I mean I know, because here's the Barrowholm Rift. So I think we can go and vendor all this stuff, because I'm not going to use any of it. We are also going to take the side of Barrowholm, so we're going to continue being friendly. Let's use the merchant while we're here. We'll pick up all the quests. Probably selling things that I shouldn't here, but it's alright. We will survive without them. I am a little bit excited to be getting to the mine here, because it's a good chance for a new belt. Impervious of the Gildem Arcanum is quite a good one, though. I regret doing this immediately. You'll have to excuse my OCD. Or not. It's up to you. I'm gonna do it anyway. Alright, so we're remaining friendly. Eventually, at some point, I'll probably feed this character to the Ravager. I mean, attempt to kill it. I don't actually think this character has any business going anywhere near the Ravager. Certainly not now. Alright, so the first ward is just here. We'll get the first ward and head on over to the right here. We're looking for the trapped travelers here, then we'll move on to the mine. Traveler pen number 1 is empty. So it should be the next one just over here on the right. Yep, there they are. Okay, so here's Thomas. Tastes like chicken, I'm sure. And now we're heading to the mine. That's kind of a juicy pack. I'll go ahead and kill this.
That skill's not ready.
Some of the larger monsters definitely starting to take a noticeable amount of time to die. This arcane guy needs to die. I'm watching for a purple projectile heading towards me. But looks like he died before he got to cast it, which is good, which is good. Okay, down he goes. I think most of his friends are probably pretty much dead at this point. Alright, Halda? No, Ulda. There's Haldra. Okay, I wonder who's in the cellar if they're all out here. It's alright. Okay, so the Barrowholm mines, we're here to kill, where are they? No, can't see them. We're here to kill the pit creepers anyway. Or, as I like to say, we're just here to kill everything. If it moves, shoot it. If it doesn't, shoot it until it does. We're playing American Mage, as it were, anyway, so just shoot everything. Love my stereotypes. Alright, so pew pew, shooty shooty bang bang.
That skill's not ready.
And like I said, we are here to kill everything. Stone shell, stone shell. We're definitely not here for stone shells. I'm 99% sure it's the pit creepers we want. However, it's, like I said, definitely best to just kill everything. And I'll go walk in this little section here. This is one of the sections that's caught me out before. If you don't walk in here, there's sometimes crabs underground and... well, not today, but sometimes there's crabs under there. And then you have to come back and do the entire mine again. Except now it's mostly cleared out, or you can reset and repopulate it and try again. So the other thing we're looking for in here is there is a treasure trove, which would be nice because it should give us another blueprint. Maybe you'll get one of the Seals of the Void and give that a shot. Obviously, pretty low chance of that, but they definitely can drop now. free dynamite. So I came here to check for the treasure trove, also because there's things to shoot there. Pathing is hard as usual for this game. And this is another area that's caught me out before. If you don't walk right down here, sometimes there's crabs under the ground here. I haven't actually seen them there for a little while, so there may have been a change made that they don't live there anymore. I'm not sure about that. But I've definitely mentioned them a couple of times and then walked down there and had nothing. Here's my treasure trove. So pretty happy about that. Seal of the Skies is lightning, so... not the one I wanted. But we'll go ahead and use that, or learn it rather. And we may as well turn this on because, you know, free loot. I immediately regret my decision. Alright, defender guy has to go first. If I can hit this guy, I should. So he's going to make his friends tougher. Disease I don't really care about. Let's turn the loot off so I can see what's going on. I think everybody's pretty much dead. Hellforged leg plates could be good. Master Links, I think, is a pet item. We'll go ahead and use that though. That is a huge amount of armor. We're still... Oh no, we can use those. Alright, awesome. So, just a straight upgrade. Is every number bigger? It looks like all the numbers are bigger. Or the same. So yep, pretty happy about that. I will happily spend my my attribute points to get that bigger. Which one of these is better? Same move speed. This one's got more phys res. Yeah, I think we'll keep that one. So my tab of things to wear later is getting quite large. 82 for those. I think I would rather have these. So the prismatic shield proc, you should get 0 use out of every single part of that except for the physical resistance. But the physical resistance is quite good. 10% is a very large chunk. The Lawkeeper band here, Empowered, is actually pretty good now that I'm looking at it. So elemental damage applies to fire, also applies to the lightning damage we're doing, and the cold damage we're doing. Burn, Frostburn, and Electrocute, I think we do all of those. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. Casting speed's useless. Aether and Elemental Res always good, of course, and +2 to Thermite Mine would be nice, because it would give us more resistant shredding. Probably only 2% though, so not the end of the world if I don't get that in. I don't think I'm going to be using it though. Mythical Runic Braces. Alright, we got the full set now. Are these ones mythical? They are. Alright. Battle of the Gloves. Which one is better? 2 gloves enter. That one's better. It's actually not even any contest. So what I was looking at is the health. The defensive ability on the other ones is better. The Aether resistance on the other ones is better. The Elemental resistance on the other ones is better. Chaos resistance, I'm going to be honest, I don't care about Chaos Res at the moment. Especially once we put these on, and I care even less about Chaos resistance. So yeah, these are... I won't say obviously the better pair, but they are definitely the better pair. Alright, let's get back to clearing this place out. Do I have the Venom Gaze Bile already? I don't think I do. Now I do. So that's half of the quest there. I'll also need to get my hands on some horns from one of the Wendigo alphas. Not the Wendigo, sorry, the Leaf Mains. But here you can see what I was talking about earlier, with the crabs being under the ground. Probably get some in here too. Oh, I think the game heard me. Oh, he said they're going to be here. Quick, don't spawn them. That's fine. We have a ghost crab here. It's going to drop me the Inquisitor belt. He didn't drop me the Inquisitor belt. And it's another two-handed gun. Alright, game. Okay, we're playing that game. That's fine, that's fine. I didn't want it anyway. The Naxxon Shade at the end will 100% drop me a belt with +1 Inquisitor skills on it. Did get this one at some point. May have been the one I just picked up. This is obviously not as good. So, I'm not going to use that one. Let's go ahead and throw our seal down, shoot some crabs. The non-ghost crabs drop soldier belts, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's poke ahead in here and get the loot. As usual, hidden chests and hidden remains and stuff very rarely actually drop you anything good. They can, they very rarely do. But I just kind of like the fact that it's hidden loot. Someone down there, I can see them. So these spike shells, the white ones I think can drop the belt, but they're very unlikely. The yellow ones I think have a higher drop chance. These haunted stone shells. That's another, hey, there's one. Impervious of the Eagle. Eagle's going to be all stats. Impervious is resistances, which is pretty good. What do we get? Actually, that's a lot of resistances. And I'll be honest, I don't care so much about that 12% chaos resistance that I would be losing. I don't care about the cast speed or the energy that I'd be losing. Cooldown reduction is nice, but otherwise, I think this one's better. So let's go ahead and chuck that on. I guess Harmonious would have been better. And now I've got to go change the component. And of course it's one of the components that I absolutely detest. But it is what it is, so let me keep the add-on. There we go, resistance is still good across the board. Where did I lose Aether resistance from? I don't think there was any on that belt. I'll have to go back and check. There's nowhere really that I can add Aether resistances either. I could put the Aether Souls on the medal and also on the amulet, but then I would lose piles of bleeding resist as well. So I just got a minor upgrade for bleeding resistance on the belt. Yeah. Alright, we'll kill the Naxxon Shade here. Oop, he's popping up. Now I should be able to just face tank him. I say with a slight question in my voice. I'm watching my health bar, but I think it's... yeah, there he goes. Okay, and we have got a pet relic. And I'm pretty sure that belt is no good. Mighty is going to be a physique percentage, and Shattered Reality is all that Aether and Chaos stuff. Yeah, I think I'm fine. Alright, we'll just check that there's no crabs underground here. And then I'm going to call this place cleared. We'll go ahead and leave. This little section here, there we go. You kind of got to get close to some of these to get them to pop up out of the ground. So I am fairly confident now that I've got them all. I'll just check the map. Make sure there's no areas that have, you know, slightly grayed edges. So like if I hadn't stepped in here, the fog or the black shroud would be kind of in here a little bit. But I can clearly see I have been everywhere. So I'm fairly confident that we are done. And let's get out of here. Once again, stairs, the bane of my existence. Sometimes amusing, Always frustrating. And I'm going to go back this way here. There's very rarely anything on here that doesn't end up sort of charging down the ramp at you when you shoot their friends on the low grounds. But I have had some on here in the past. And same for this little area over here. I think I already walked through here anyway. It does appear that I've got all of them. I'm just going to claim that I've got all of them and sound very confident when I do. And just say, yeah, I did it. It's fine. And then the NPC will just take my word for it. Alright, we're starting to get... well, we're not starting to, but we are getting some Leaf Mane Alphas. It should drop from the first one I kill. Yep, there we go. So I'll take that. I haven't checked, but beasts are coming up on Nemesis. So that's something to keep your eye on as well. You definitely don't want to be toying with Kubakabra at level 81 on Ultimate. I think if I did run into Kuba at this point, I would try very, very hard to go around him. And just leave him sleeping in whatever corner I found him in. And if I couldn't go around him, I would probably exit to the main menu and start again. Alright, here's our second ward. And we're going to head sort of southwest-ish down here. There's a whole bunch of wraiths here and such. I'm just going to pretty much ignore them and walk past in that little building. If you step in there, there's a whole bunch of things that'll come out of the ground. Okay, all we have left at this point is a quick trip through this log. And then back up here. And we have one more group of, we'll call them lunch. One more group of lunch to collect. I did say I was going to ignore all these, but that's just too juicy. There we go. So back around here to more or less where we started. Coming out of the mine there. And then we head down the right side here. Now the prisoners, they can be in here. They're obviously not, but they can be there. I guarantee you if you go down the left side first, they will be in there and you'll have to come back around. But because I went down the right side, they didn't spawn on the right and they're going to be on the left. Okay, there's 82, which means we have a gear upgrade. I think it was the runic braces at 82. But I'll have a look at that when we go back to town. Which coincidentally is right now. So, back to Barrowholm. I love the screams of some of these things as they die. And 1, 2, 3, 4. What are we up to now? 47. So 2 more levels. And we'll have the Brimstone unlocked. That's basically just going to do like a Panetti's replicating missile style kind of explosion when you hit things. It's pretty cool. But I think the damage is it weapon damage? It's not, it's just flat damage, so we'll actually have to put a lot of points into that before it really does much. Yeah, we just replaced the belt, so that's fine. Impervious of... what was it? Impervious of stats? Yeah. Impervious of stats is actually pretty good. I decided against using those, so that's fine. And I'm going to vendor all the rest of this. No other rings. Okay, so mythical runic braces. We will be losing 18% pierce resist, which I give 0 cares about. We'll be gaining a bunch of resistances that I do actually care about, and +2 to Inquisitor Seal. This is only a good thing. And I do need... whoops. I want to use that, not sell it. I do need to chuck that back on there. I'm just going to sell that. 1 Unholy Inscription is hardly worth going back to town to swap it off, especially when I have 3 in my inventory. Next, we'll be at level 84. We're basically going to be replacing most of our gear. Now, which one of these? They both have the same armor. This one has fire damage, which I do like. Offensive and defensive ability, which I do like. Elemental resistance, which... yeah, I like that. Especially at the moment we're a little low on elemental resistance. However, I actually think these are the better long-term boots. I do think these are better for right now though, so I guess we'll see how our resistances look once we swap all this stuff out. But for now, let's go talk to Skorv. And by Skorv, I mean Tyvold here. Okay, let's see if we can get a little bit of extra XP. Okay, there we go. Chunk of bonus XP. We'll go talk to Skorv here, and then we'll go back to the... Okay, we'll deal with Laria, then we'll go back. Okay, and I do have the Ancient Heart ready to go for... Oops, for the Coven as well. Meantime though, back to the Ugdenbog. We are going to go up here, and we're going to... I think I'm actually going to kill Laria. So, when you kill Laria, you do get a penalty to your Coven reputation. Because she is part of their Coven, or was part of their Coven, or something like that. I forget exactly how it works. But you lose reputation with the Coven, and you gain it with Barrowholm. However, you look here, Coven rep is already revered. We've got a bunch of Coven quests ready to turn in. And Barrowholm is not even honored yet. So the Barrowholm reputation is infinitely more useful to me than a little bit more of Coven reputation, which I'm already effectively maxed out on. So, we shoot Laria. Which... It sucks to be Laria, but unfortunately she's made of a reputation type that I need. So, there we go. Dropped her MI because she has to at this point. And back to Barrowholm. I'll go turn that one in. I am at this point going to chuck the XP gear back on. Hope that nothing spawned between me and Skorv. Skorv himself will be out the back now, getting ready to summon the Ravager. And we should actually be able to get the next quest from him once we turn this in. It'll depend if we hit Honored. I think we hit Honored here. There we go. Okay. And now we go on a little bit of a treasure hunt through the... and where's my boots? There we go. Through the swamps and such. But... these are actually quite easy to find. So if you go to Barrowholm, and then we're going to run backwards here. Now these will all show up on the map when you get close to them. The first potential place I think is just here. There's one already.
I can't do that yet.
So Olivioth here. Just gonna shoot him until he dies. These guys do have some pretty cool hats as well. They are kind of rare. He hasn't dropped his, but they do have some hats. That was a blue gun, cold-based. That's quite unfortunate. From here, you head back down here to where the witches were. And sometimes there'll be a totem here, but the witches is another location where you can find one of these. Next, we head to the Gloomwald. And there's a few locations in the Gloomwald where, it's not Uveloth, it's one of the other ones. Anyway, there's a few locations here where you can, find these guys. Haven't actually been up here, so I'll check for the treasure trove while I'm running through. It's probably not here, but, you know, I can't resist. Blueprints live in there. I need blueprints. That's fine, it's not there. So over to this house, which normally I would run past it. This time, however, yep, here we go. There's another one of them that kind of lives out the back here. Handaroth. So we'll take care of Handaroth here, that'll be another one of the hearts. Once you have this quest as well, these guys will always spawn. You just won't see them on the map once you turn the quest in. So if you wanted to farm them for example, their... where is it? Oh, you didn't drop one. But if you wanted to farm them for their medals, if you happen to be playing a pet Kabbalist, they have a really nice medal. Don't turn the quest in, and they'll show up on your map as a star. I think there's a spawn point here as well. And then... it's really hard for me to not go through the underground passage there and not go and do, you know, kill Avarice and get the other treasure trove, and it's really hard. Okay.
I can't do that.
But I'll skip it. The final one is going to be Uvaloth, and Uvaloth generally I've found spawns out here, just sort of up here, is it? Or up here? Kind of to the north. And looks like maybe not this time. But that's fine. You can always just reset your instance and they will all repopulate. And eventually they will be in the spots you can remember. So I'm pretty sure one of the spots, maybe just over here. Yeah, there he is. Beautiful. Okay, and we do have to kill the healers, because otherwise they will just heal it forever. Let's see if it is actually a healer. Maybe I'm wrong. I could have been wrong there. He did drop his helmet. So this Soulless Gaze is pretty good helmet if you're using a Vitality Necromancer. I think there's 3 different versions of that helmet for various different damage types as well. But, yeah, these are kind of cool. They look funky too. And it's going to make for some really nice iron bits. Alright, let's clear this area, do the totem, and then we'll go turn some quests in for the Coven. Wendigo Gaze is one of the MI medals that these guys drop too. Okay, here we go. Sulvar, the Endless Hungerer. Balrazar, the Eternal Servant of Grieg. And I do see a blue gun on the floor. And it does do fire damage, so we may have just found an upgrade. Someone's alive here still. That guy. Alright, cool. Time Flux Band could be good. Overlord's Iron Grip is not going to be good. That's a pet gloves. Okay, this particular gun, I think that this gun is actually not very good. And here's why. We would be losing +2 to Fire Strike to get +1 in all demolitionists. So let's just pick it up, hang on. We can actually do a test on this, right? Where are we? Okay, Leander Green. You'll notice that it's -83 DPS and -177 DPS. You can kind of ignore that. Let's compare the procs on these. So Fireball is a 1.5 second skill recharge. This goes off constantly. I do so many instances of little chip damage that these Fireball procs effectively go off on cooldown or close enough to it. So that's probably an average of like a 1.7 second skill recharge on that Fireball skill. And it does 2.4 to 4k fire damage and has a chance to stun. If we compare that to the Blackwater Cocktail there, same chance on attack. So this again is going to go off pretty much on cooldown. It does considerably less damage, being basically 600 to 1300 plus another 1400 burn damage. But it is an AoE, so it does have that going for it, so it could be worth using. If we look at the actual weapon, we've got 40 to 66 fire damage versus 26 to 46 fire damage, and they both have the same attacks per second. Then the shrapnel pistol, I'm just looking at the middle one, the of Alacrity, has an extra 14 to 17 flat fire damage. So effectively, it's 54 to, what's that, 83 fire damage, which actually is very close to double what Leander Green's hand cannon does. But the Leander Green one does have a bunch of flat burning damage. And we have, how's that burning in the magical section? Fire is plus basically 1200%, and burn is considerably less, about half, let's say. So that burn damage is actually more like, let's say, 90 to 100 burn damage in comparison. So it's kind of close on the actual damage, but the thing with burn damage is it takes 3 seconds, and we attack 1.64 times per second, so most of the time you would just be refreshing that dot, you're not actually doing the full damage. So I've pretty much talked myself out of using this gun. I'm not going to use that gun. I was considering it. +1 to demo, or +1 to demolitionist skills is considerably better than +2 to fire strike. The issue, of course, is +1 to all demolitionist skills is not better than 22% attack speed and +2 to fire strike. So yeah, I definitely talked myself out of using that gun. Let's just go ahead and sell it. Oh, and I guess I should show those gloves as well. These are kind of decent for pets. They're okay. I don't think they're really useful in any kind of, air quotes, end game build. I think the mythical version adds some physical resistance to one of the auras as well. I think the mythical version is a decent amount better, obviously, but yeah, I don't think I've ever used them in a finished build. This could be okay. The different resistances, they're a bit low. I think I just sell that as well. Alright, let's go turn this in, and we will chuck these on as well, just for some extra oomph. And the next quest is to summon the Ravager, which I'm not going to do just yet. Because I want the option to fight him, and I haven't decided which version I want to fight yet, I'm not going to summon him yet, even though that would be worth reputation and XP. So for now, we're going to leave the Ravager alone. And there's 83, which is quite good. Okay, and we turn all these in. Lovely, lovely. Got our Tonic of Reshaping, which is quite good. And I'm just going to put more points in Physique. I kind of want more defensive ability now that I'm looking at it. Don't think we really got anything at 83. In terms of gear to put on. Yeah, that'll be fine. Skill points. Straight into the bar. Next level we get Brimstone. Pretty excited about that. However, we do have a couple more quests to do. Let's find out. Yep. Absolutely. Sure, no worries. And we'll turn this one in as well. So, a decent chunk of XP from this, and we are about to have... Where's my boots? Oh, they're already on. Never mind. Never mind, it's the helmet I need. There. We're about to have a few more quests to turn in as well. So that'll be good. And we're already... you remember I said we'd be losing Revered with the Coven? We're already back to Revered. So yeah, that's more than enough. Also, I have to go back to Barrowholm and collect a... not a mandate, a writ. So hopefully I remember to do that. There we go, first one's down. I like to run down here to this little foot shape when I'm going in between the wards, because at the bottom of this little foot shape is a rotting stump, in which there is an Ugdenbog. And just kind of hitting these things as you run past them over time is going to add up, and you will end up with a lot more of them than you think. And kind of walking past them is a good way to just not have enough of them when you need them. Alright, and the last one is right over here by the Coven's Refuge Rift. You can see the ward is right there. And here's our trapped Wraith. Okay, down he goes. That's our quest complete. Now we get, I think it's just one we get to turn in, and then we do the fight here. Okay, it's done. How can I help? Yep. So now we do the fight. Let's go ahead and do that. Not hugely worried about this fight, although probably should be more worried than I am. Take this corrupted guy out. There's also another ghost crab there, so that's a belt with legs right there. No, it's not. Should have been. Who are we still fighting here? Can she actually die? I've never seen her die. We say we're going to protect her, but it's only, as far as I'm aware, it's only if we die that it's an issue. Alright, there we go. Wait, never mind. The Celestial Stone of Halakor. Legendary amulet with a bunch of lightning stuff on it. Gee, wouldn't it be great if I had a character that had lightning damage focus? Seal of Might. So there's another seal. Unfortunately not the one I want. Not any of the ones that I want. But, there we go. That's all of the quests done for these guys. Let's go ahead and chuck these back over there. And while I'm thinking of it, we'll just bounce back to Barrowholm and get that writ online. Like I said before, I forget about it. And in terms of quests, we're pretty much done with Barrowholm, so I am going to end the episode here-ish, but next episode we'll be heading through the Chthonic Wasteland and starting our last little trek towards the city of Malmouth. Where are we? That one. And I don't think they have any gear I want, but it's definitely never a bad thing to check. Let's just do a search for fire. Yep, they've got lots of fire stuff. What do we got here? Wendigo Tainted Mark. Does that have fire on that item somewhere? Am I blind? Witchfire. +2 to Soleil's Witchfire. So they actually have exactly 2 fire items in their entire shop. Having said that, this one is pretty good. This one is pretty good for weapons. What do we got on here at the moment? 8 flat fire damage. So that's a 50% increase. Marauders can go. Yep, that can go. That can go. All of this. Having said that, what do we got here? That was the lightning. That is bleeding. So that's no good. Alright, yeah, I'm going to end the episode here. So thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode, and bye for now.